what is one thing that you want all of our listeners to know?
If you've been impacted by sexual assault, it was not your fault.
Stay tuned for our interview with Greta McClain.
Hey, this is Kelly.
And this is Sue.
Welcome to Front Porch AF, where friends and neighbors
gather to have a drink and a laugh and figure out how to solve all the problems of the world.
Lord
2 weeks
have
in
mercy.
a row.
Woo,
2 weeks in
two
a
for
row.
two.
Woo-hoo.
How do we do that?
Oh,
I've been practicing.
You have been. Look at and you can read. You know, this is...
I mean, I know we talk about
Reading
my
is
little brother. He can't read.
Yeah, fundamental. And, before we go into our normal falderall, I want to make sure you all know to stick around because we got a very special guest coming up. Greta McClain. She is the founder of Silent No Longer, an organization that speaks for survivors of sexual abuse. So stick around for that.
It's going to be really good.
But before that,
what's going on? What are you drinking today, Sue?
I am drinking another Grandma Lenny's cocktail because it's hot again out.
It is
and
hot again.
There is a lot of diet ginger ale and there might be some red wine mixed in with that.
Ginger ale and red wine.
Grandma Lenny was not a drinker.
Oh, I gotcha. You know, my Aunt Janet, who is a frequent visitor here.
And a drinker.
Who we love. She has this thing we call Hillbilly Dew. And she would get her white Zinfandel from the best box wine you can buy and then cut it with a Diet Mountain Dew, which has more caffeine than any drink. So she'd be like buzzing and like, with the caffeine.
The recipes for these will be on the web.
We'll have to call AJ and get her to give us the... Anyway, guess what I'm drinking?
It's going to be, even though you can't see it because it's in a parka.
It's in a beer parka.
I know that's a Miller Lite.
It's a Miller Lite, but I have one of my favorite Huggies because it says "woman on a beer break."
That's the story of your life.
It really is.
And yes, we will have pictures, of course, of every Huggy, every koozie. Let's see. Oh, I've got so many good neighborhood notes.
Oh, well, go for it.
Okay. You are looking at, and for those of you listening, you are listening to a video star.
Oh, my gosh. That was this week, wasn't it?
Yes.
What happened?
I was part of a contingent of old ladies. That was the casting call. Extras, old ladies who were to inhabit a bingo hall, an illicit bingo hall.
Okay.
Yeah.
What constitutes illicit bingo?
Well, gambling for money. For real money, yes. Mm-hmm. By the way, the money looked very real.
Oh, yeah.
Except it said for movie use only. I was going to take it to D's and see if they'd accept it. I've got a 20 in my pocket.
You should, Why don't you see what happens when you do that? See what Amy says about that.
Okay, you'll film it tomorrow when we go. Okay.
Exactly.
Anyway, the video is for a young country singer, a very good country singer named Carter Faith. And think back to early 90s. Reba McEntire-esque. Very good. Very good.
Was she singing when you were doing it, or were they playing the song?
Oh, they play the song over and over. Would you like me to sing it for you?
I wouldn't. There's nothing else I'd like better right now.
I can't remember it. So you're easy.
My dreams are shattered.
Yeah. And my other good neighborhood note is starting Tuesday, you are looking at the newest English as a second language tutor for Conexión Americas, a Latino immigrant advocate group here in Nashville that works to help migrants, navigate and thrive and thrive and grow. But that griving and throwing. Yeah.
That's really cool, Sue. When do you start? Are you teaching individuals or are you doing
No,
a
it's
class?
a class.
It's
Basically,
a class
I am going to be shadowing and substituting this first semester before they turn me loose on my own. Oh, ay caramba. Oh, but luckily.
How do you say, I just want one more?
Uno más, por favor.
Wow.
Well, I drink beer when I go to Spain or Mexico. But here's the nice thing. When you teach English as a second language, you only need to speak English because they want to know English.
I see. So you don't have to know any Spanish.
And
to-
it's not just Spanish speakers. There are
right, anybody.
Anybody who wants to use English as a second language can sign up. So I will have further reports. But that's the end of my neighborhood
That
notes.
is really great. That's a good call, Sue.
Thank you very much.
I don't even know what I should talk about. There's just been, I was in California last week for work, and one of the fun things I did there is I rented a little motorcycle so I could just get around. It was a short trip, and I thought that'd be fun. There's this cool place to do it. And I went to this dive bar called the Dark Horse Tavern.
Spell horse.
HORSE.
Okay,
Horse.
good. It's that kind of horse.
Dark Horse. And I made friends. I got a guy that's going to take me fishing one day for halibut. And I discovered there's halibut in the bay outside of San Francisco. I had no idea. I thought you had to go to Alaska, but they have bay halibut.
Halibut?
Yeah. And they don't get as big. He said they're way tastier because they don't get as big. And so I'm hoping I get to do a little halibut fishing at some point next year. That's kind of cool.
All right. Digression.
Yeah.
A family moved in across the street from us when we were growing up. And they had a teenage son named Hal, who was my age. And my dad, you hear what's coming.
I know what's coming, yeah.
My dad yelled across the street as they were moving in, "Oh, it's just for the halibut." And he thought that was high humor.
It's a great dad joke.
It really is.
Je ne sais quoi there.
Je ne sais quoi? Oh, see?
Hey, I wouldn't.
French is a second language.
That's right. But speaking of neighborhood notes, I wouldn't know that word if it wasn't for Piper. And our lovely videographer,
is back.
Love of my life, is back with us.
Hello,
hey, Pipes.
Piper.
Hello.
We're really glad you're here.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm glad to be here, but I want to tell you one thing. Don't turn your noses up at wine and soda. In Spain, there's calimoto.
Oh.
I think I'm saying that correctly. It's Coke and red wine.
Ooh, that sounds weird.
Oh, it's delicious.
Okay. Well,
Okay.
we'll put that.
We'll
the
try
recipe is Coke and red wine.
In ratios to your taste. The cheaper the red wine, the better.
Ooh, that sounds like sangria to me. I don't understand why people like sangria.
Yeah,
It's
I
also delicious.
Oh, you're a world traveler. We're here on the bend.
Yeah.
You know.
So I'm a world traveling wino. Is that what you're saying?
That's what she didn't say.
I speak it with my eyes.
You know, the other thing while I was out, it seemed like that was like free livestock week.
Yes, oh, you're on the bend.
In the band, there was a cow, and then there was a pig.
Oh yeah. Oh, the pig. And I almost put that on the website. The picture of the lost pig.
Is this your
roaming
pig? What
around.
did it say?
Is
Is this your pig?
Is this your pig? On the Neely's Bend notes, it said,
Yeah.
it had the picture, "Is this your pig?" It's on Myatt, running loose. Okay. Mailbag.
Mailbag. All right.
Oh, man. Can I go first?
Yeah, you can go first.
All right. First of all, a dear friend who is a new listener, Deb from Bloomington, Indiana, told me that when she binged her show, and she said, we didn't sound scripted at all. Just like we were shooting the breeze on our front porch. Strangely enough.
Strangely, if we're not scripted.
We're not scripted.
Except for that very first part we've been practicing for however many months we've been doing this.
15 shows now.
Wow.
Yeah, and
So
we finally got it down.
finally got it right.
There you go. Practice. How do you get to Carnegie Hall? Practice. And we got a photo of listener Jim in D.C. wearing the D's Country Cocktail Lounge shirt.
Yeah, representing.
We ran into Jim at the Bulwark event here in May and got him a gift of a D's Country Cocktail Lounge shirt, and his daughters thought he looked so good in it.
They thought he looked cool, right?
They thought he looked really cool. They said, "Daddy, let's take a picture and send it to Kelly and Sue," and he did. So we'll
That's
have that
awesome.
up. Yeah, he gave us permission to use it. We also have Christopher's haiku.
Yeah.
Christopher reading the haiku. That video will be on the web.
It's not up there yet.
Nope, I haven't been busy.
That's right. You've been bingoing it up.
Bingoing up. Okay, for mailbag for you?
For me,
Anything?
I've gotten a lot of comments about our show on aging. A lot of comments of people that really enjoyed it. And I shared our podcast with this person in California the other day, and she binged several shows, and she's like, "Y'all are great." And I was like, "Oh, that's really sweet. Thanks." Because you never know. Like you say, "Hey, go check it out."
Yeah.
And she loved it. And then we got this great email from Mandy
In Australia.
in Australia from down under. And she and her compadre, Sarah, were listening to us going down the road, binging our show as well. And we've got an action shot of them driving on the wrong but right side of the road for them with our Front Porch AF on their radio
And
coming up on the screen.
Guess what's going to be on the web?
It's going to be on the web.
All right.
It's good.
And you go, guess what? That brings us to, well, the reason we do this show, to explore a topic.
Yep.
Yep. And the topic today and the guest today are something really important.
Yeah.
And it can be hard to listen to. It can be hard to think about, when, but
It can be.
it is very important.
It's very important because a lot of people experience it and a lot of people never talk about it.
Right.
And they live with this.
Yeah. And I'll tell you what we're talking about when I introduce our guest, Greta McClain, who is the founder and executive director of Silent No Longer, Tennessee. She is a native Nashvilleian. Greta was a police officer for 12 years here in the Metro Nashville Police Department, and she was the Victims of Crime coordinator with the Tennessee Coalition Against Domestic and Sexual Violence. And she's active in many other community service organizations. And she founded Silent No Longer with a mission, and that mission, I'll quote it here, to empower survivors of sexual violence to transform their stories into powerful forces for education and inspiration. And I will let her tell you more, and also about how a hashtag saved her life.
Yeah.
Greta, welcome to the Front Porch.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate the opportunity.
It is really great to have you here today.
Thanks.
Could you tell us a little bit about how you came to found Silent No Longer?
Sure. It was June of 2017, and I'd gone on a weekend vacation and was coming back and stopped at a truck stop to use the restroom and grab something to eat. And walked maybe 10 steps, if that, away from my car when I felt somebody grab me from behind and shoved me against the hood of my car. Excuse me. And of course, I was stunned initially, but thankfully, having the experience of being a police officer, I knew how to try to react at least, and did everything that I knew to do to try to defend myself. But I will say that it had been, 17 years since I left the department, so obviously my self-defense skills were somewhat lacking probably by that point, but I couldn't defend myself and was raped. And it really took its toll because I thought that it was my fault because I had known how to defend myself and I couldn't. And I felt like I should have, regardless of how long it had been, regardless of, 17 years older. I thought that, something inside me was saying, you let it happen. And I had gotten to the point with hearing that little voice that I decided that, I'm finished. I'm done. And actually started writing goodbye letters to loved ones. And had gotten through all of them okay until the very last letter. And I just could not find the words that I was seeking to try to finish that letter. So I just set it down and just started staring out the window. And next thing I remember was I was scrolling through my Facebook feed on my phone. I don't remember picking up the phone. I just know that I had it. And I kept seeing the Me Too hashtag and had no clue what it meant. And after, continuing to read comments and stuff, I'm like, wow, all these people have been through what I've been through. And some of them were close friends of mine, and I never knew that they had, experienced anything like that. Mm-hmm. And I was like, okay, if they've gotten through it, let me give it a day. 24 hours. And that's what I did for several months, is literally 24 hours at a time.
Yeah.
And, it sounds kind of crazy, but it literally was a hashtag that is the reason I'm still here, the reason I'm still alive.
Wow.
And how did that lead to Silent No Longer?
In my opinion, it was a form of storytelling. And I love writing. I always have. And that's when it dawned on me, it's like, yes, it's a hashtag, but it was a way of telling people I have experienced this particular thing. So I was like, okay, if a hashtag can keep me from ending my life, then me starting an organization that focuses on storytelling, whether through visual art or written word, excuse me, that has to hopefully be helpful, because it's not having them share their story, openly or publicly. It's them just getting it down and saying, this is what's happening or what happened, and this is how I'm processing it. And, it was a way for me to not still sit in the space of a victim, but as a survivor who's now wanting to help someone else. Because there are other people that were probably, not probably, there are other people that were in the situation I was in where they're seriously contemplating. If I save just one person, then, it's worth it.
Well, I know earlier in our conversations with you, you have spoken about your experience with the police department and with the coalition, and help me with the name of the Coalition Against Domestic and Sexual Violence. How did that work in to the founding of Silent No Longer?
Yes. Been a police officer for 12 years, 2 of which was as a detective in the adult sex abuse unit. And during that time, I went into that because I was a victim of an attempted rape in college.
Oh.
And so I thought, I've had the experience. I can hopefully help people. And I was staffing a case with the lieutenant at the time. And as we were discussing it, he stopped me and he said, okay, technically she said no, but she went into his bedroom and let him take off her blouse. So she said no, but she was really saying yes, and told me to close the case. Gosh. And I'm like, okay, that's just wrong.
Yeah.
Totally, this is the person overseeing this unit, and he thinks that it's okay because she let him take off her blouse. And it's like, this is not why I got into law enforcement.
Yeah.
And my heart just wasn't in it. So that's why I left and then started working with the Tennessee Coalition Against Domestic and Sexual Violence.
Yeah. I have just a kind of quick question, kind of follow up of that. So you work with, you have, your career has been working in this space. How common is it that is the reaction of the victim is, this is my fault? How often do people own that as their own?
Very often, unfortunately. Yeah. It's not unusual at all. Yeah. They feel like, well, if I hadn't have done this, or if I hadn't done that, if I hadn't been wearing this, I hadn't been wearing that. Most important thing is, for me, for people to understand, is it doesn't matter what you were wearing. It doesn't matter where you were. It doesn't matter whether you were drinking or not. No one has the right to forcibly take advantage of you, to forcibly commit violence against your body.
Exactly. Well, and building on that, what are some of the reasons that you hear that prevent survivors of gender-based violence? And we're not just speaking. There's a wide range of gender-based violence. But gender-based violence, what prevents them from going to the police or otherwise speaking out?
A lot of it is because either they blame themselves or they're afraid others are going to blame them or not believe them. And, the situation I was just talking about when I was a detective is kind of evidence of that.
Yeah.
And, we still hear people say, well, if she hadn't have been drinking, if she hadn't have been wearing a low-cut blouse or something. Again, it doesn't matter. You know, you should be able to walk down the street totally naked. I mean, although that isn't allowed, that is illegal.
It isn't?
But, and still, it would still not be okay for somebody to sexually assault you.
Yeah.
The only person to blame is the perpetrator, never the victim.
Yeah.
And people don't seem to understand that. And what I try to explain is, okay, would you blame somebody who had their car stolen or their house burglarized because they didn't have an alarm on their car or their house? And 10 times out of 10 so far, people are like, no, it happens.
Yeah.
Okay. Why are you blaming somebody who's been sexually assaulted if you're not going to blame somebody?
Yeah. But I mean, once you report it, like that whole process after that is also really, really hard, isn't it?
It is incredibly hard. Yeah. It is incredibly hard.
Well, with Silent No Longer, I'm going to kind of move around. With Silent No Longer, how do they find out about you? And then what is a typical path that Silent No Longer will help them with? You know, how does that process work? If you're out there and you are thinking about going forward with your story publicly or filing charges, how does that process work? How do they find out about you? And what are the services that you can help them with?
We provide services that are different from Sexual Assault Center. They actually have the people that do the medical legal exam to collect evidence and things like that. Ours is more, we do advocacy, but a lot of what we do is creative expression, therapeutic creative expression, to allow them to process their trauma through visual art, whether it's painting, drawing, mixed media, collage, or through written word like poems, monologues, things like that. And that is by far our most popular service that we provide. That's where most people, choose. And it's a way for them, again, to process it and even verbalize it in a safe space so that they know that they aren't going to be judged and that they are going to have support. And the more you do that, the less traumatic it is.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking, my assault was in 2017, now it's 2025. I can tell this story and it doesn't bring up anything. But that's a long process. So we try to let them do it that way. And, like I said, that's the most sought after program. But, we can also do referral services, provide legal assistance, transportation to court and things like that.
Do you find that people who go through this process are better prepared for court, better prepared to give testimony or a statement to the police? Finally,
It's kind of 50-50. It depends on how recent it is, how traumatic it was, who the perpetrator was. If it's a stranger, it may sound, but it seems a little easier for them to feel better talking about it than if it's somebody they know.
How can we sitting here or our listeners out there help?
If you have someone come to you and says that they have been a victim of sexual assault or even sexual harassment, that can be very traumatic as well. Listen. Just be present with them and listen. Don't try to tell them what you think they should do. They've already had control over their body taken away. They don't need to have control over their choices taken away as well. So allow them to make their own decisions. They can always change their mind. And again, just be there. If, they say, well, do you think I should do or whatever? You can answer, but just say, well, what do you think would be the most comfortable for you? Mm-hmm. Just put it back in their court so that they can start empowering themselves again.
Yeah. So Greta, two kind of questions, like how many women do you serve and how do you fund your program?
Currently, we have 138 active clients.
Okay.
We had more previously because of the advocacy we did for employees for the police department, but that has scaled down some. A lot of them don't necessarily attend our creative expression workshops because they've gotten into it enough now where they say, hey, I need some more canvas and some paints. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, okay, Amazon, send it. But, you know, obviously people that are new to the program, there's much more hands-on things.
Mm-hmm. And you're a nonprofit? Is that primarily how can you get grants or you have donations? Like, how does that? We
do have some grants. Being a very small grassroots organization, it's harder sometimes for us to get grants than somebody like Sexual Assault Center because they serve so many more people.
Yeah.
So I understand where the funding's going. And, you know, currently there's a lot of grants that aren't available right now because of current administration. Yep. And, you know, you can't get them.
Yeah.
But, you know, we do the best we can. We have memberships that start as little as $12 a month, about the price of a single fast food meal.
So, or a good craft beer.
Or a good craft beer, yeah.
Or a margarita at happy hour. Mean, just putting it all
absolutely
in terms I can understand.
Yeah.
By the way, listeners, if you've listened to us for a while, you know that we are going to have links to all of the things that we talk about on the show, especially to Silent No Longer Tennessee and all of that. So don't worry. You don't have to write anything down now. We'll be able to find it. But speaking of writing things down, what is the application process and where do people start out?
They can contact us at contact@silentnolongertn.org. Mm-hmm. They can call us, and I'm trying to remember the actual phone number.
Hi, this is Mark, the audio engineer. I've got that number right here. The number is 615-784-8679.
Or they can actually message us through Facebook or Instagram, and we will get back to them. And on our website, there's actually a contact where they can send one through there as well. And typically, you know, we can get back within 24 hours, if not sooner.
Oh, that's good. That is really good. Do you have any stories that you can share with us about a typical individual? Or somebody who sticks out in your mind? No names, of course, but, you know, somebody who's been helped by Silent No Longer.
One particular one I can think of has unfortunately been sexually assaulted at least 3 times.
Oh, God.
And the first 2 times she didn't say anything because being from a marginalized community, a woman of color, she didn't know how the law enforcement was going to treat her and what the court system would do, you know, that type of thing. But she, you know, I started working with her individually. And, you know, sometimes it was on Zoom, sometimes we meet for coffee and stuff like that. And she is to the point now, about 3.5, almost 4 years later, where she's on top of it. Mm-hmm. I mean, she's coming up with things. Each year in April for Sexual Assault Awareness Month, we have an event called Shadows Ignited. Mm-hmm. And it's a theater style where we have people that, you know, clients that have written poems, monologues, plays. Sometimes there are some that will perform them themselves. Yeah. A lot of time we have volunteers that will do it. But she's gotten to the point where she can write plays and she has, you know, staging lights down and chairs here. And,
oh, wow.
You know, she's got it going. And I'm like, I'm going to have to introduce you to one of the people on our board because he does theater.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you need to get with him because you're getting really good at this.
That's so cool.
I'm glad to hear. I'm glad to hear. You know, it's not the end.
No.
It's not the end.
Right.
So I'm assuming that's an annual fundraiser for you as well. So that we definitely need info on that on the website.
And actually, that's a good place to kind of say thank you very much. But by the way, listeners, Greta's sticking around because we're going to do a little video, a bonus video about a book she's written.
That's right.
Yeah. Let's see. What is one thing that you want all of our listeners to know before we have to wrap this up?
If you've been impacted by sexual assault, it was not your fault, regardless of what anybody says. Forgive me, it's total bullshit. It was not your fault.
All right.
The perpetrator is the only one responsible.
And you've got a few places that you've given us. Tell them about these 4 places that you make sure people want to know about, and links will be on the web.
One of my favorite ones that's near and dear to my heart is Southminster, Nashville, a small church over in South Nashville, who has chosen to develop some partnerships so that they can create affordable housing for individuals that are neurodivergent, which means that they're considered somewhat different as far as their thinking. That's not typical or normal. And, I had volunteered in high school and college with Special Olympics. I volunteered over at Harris Hillman, so that's something really near and dear.
And then you've got a couple others you want to make sure.
Yes. Awake Nashville, which stands for Advocates for Women and Children's Equality. They do excellent work as far as empowering women and girls. And Tennessee Equality Project, who is doing everything humanly possible to stop some of the attacks on the LGBTQ community.
Great. Yeah. We know a couple of these places pretty well from other expeditions that we've had. I can't thank you enough, Greta.
Greta, thank you for what you're doing. I mean, you're a survivor, and then you've gone on to help other people survive. And it's just awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me.
We need more Gretas.
We need a lot more Gretas.
All right. And we need a lot more wrapping up.
Okay, let's wrap it up, Sue.
Wrap it up, baby.
Well, what have we got coming up? Do you want to talk about
first of all, making a positive difference action after the show. Go to the website. All of these organizations and links will be on there.
That's right. And going to the annual fundraiser is a good reason to come to Nashville.
That's right. Upcoming shows, we've got some doozies.
We sure do.
We have some doozies. We have, first of all, we've got a book about Madison. That's right. Madison, with the authors Laura Jo Amaral and Stacy Huckabee, friends of ours and fabulously talented people.
Hey, they've got me in the chainsaw.
They do.
Yeah.
They do. Madison, Portraits of Our Neighbors, published by Vanderbilt University Press. They'll be our guests in October. But if you're in beautiful downtown Madison at the Amqui Station, the Grassroots and Nudie Suits Festival, September 13th, right here. Grassroots and Nudie Suits. The book will be on preview there, and we might just be at that
That's
booth.
going to be fun.
And voting opens today for what tattoo should Sue get? We're doing a show called Tattoo Sue, where I'm going to be getting my first tattoo. It is either going to be a peace symbol tastefully above my left ankle. Tastefully done, multicolored.
Not a tramp stamp.
Or in big black letters across my chest, the initials DNR. So you can vote either for Sue's first tattoo to be DNR across her chest, or a tasteful, beautiful, multicolored peace symbol above her ankle. And the voting ranks will be on our website and on the socials.
Are we going to do it on the socials too?
Yeah, we're going to do it on this. Of course, we're going to do it on the socials.
Where can you find us on the socials?
That's your department. Facebook.
Wherever you do social, except for one.
Except for one. We never. All right. Yes. Shoot that bird. Never there. Instagram, Facebook, soon TikTok.
And we got some YouTube stuff going on.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yes. We've got YouTube.
Yeah.
It's hard to find. I can't find it. Somehow my nephew does it. My nephew can. Please like us, share us.
Yes.
If you like us.
If you like us, share us.
If you don't like us,
share us anyway.
Share us anyway. Oh, are we going to do the until next time?
Yeah, until next time.
That was me. The script says Sue. Sue says, until next time.
Look, we got the first part right.
Okay.
We'll start working on the end.
Until next time.
When we gather on our audio front porch and grab a drink.
And solve all the problems of the world. Cheers,
Cheers.
y'all.